During the battle, Saruman decides to cheat and takes control of Berethor, having him charge straight into the Uruk-hai army as the rest of the soldiers retreat further into Helms Deep. This leads to a really cheap fight where the Uruk-hai and trolls beat the tar out of the group, 4 more Uruk-hai showing up as each one falls. Finally, they make it back to the Great Hall with the others as the sun comes up, cueing Gandalf and Eomer's reinforcements. As for Berethor, well, Gandalf and Idril let him know that Saruman's mind controlled him into following Boromir in the first place in order to steal the One Ring. And with the Ents takeover of Isengard, Saruman's hold over Berethor is broken. So a plot element that the player was not aware of has been resolved by events off-screen. Sounds like most story elements of this game. Somehow, don't ask me how, the group shows up at Osgiliath during the final attack. Wasn't that going on at the same time as the Battle of Helm's Deep? Berethor is ready for battle when Eowyn suddenly realizes he's met Berethor before.
I know those words. You were here before. You fled in dishonor.
Yes, it turns out Saruman wasn't the only one screwing with Berethor's mind. It turns out during the original battle, several soldiers fled for their lives, including Berethor, resulting in his banishment from Gondor. Idril gets cut off from the rest of the group as the battle reaches its peak. Eowyn suggests leaving her behind, but Berethor refuses to abandon her, going off to go save her. Really though, Idril's the best spellcaster in the game, and probably one of the most powerful characters. The battle she has with the orcs in the intervening time shows she can pretty much handle herself. The others go after her anyway, fighting their way through orcs and ringwraiths. Yeah, way to undercut the lethality of Sauron's most powerful agents by having them beat by a group completely unrelated to the main plot of the series. As the rest of the group holds off the orc forces, Berethor runs off to go help Idril face off against the Witch King. Berethor gets a sense of deja vu, and the Witch King explains that he was to be used as a pawn of the ringwraiths to make Gondor more vulnerable to attack.
Kneel before Zod!
Berethor can't bring himself to harm the Witch King. Idril explained that while the elf artifacts from earlier in the game kept him from turning into a ringwraith himself, Berethor still has the tip of a Morgul blade in his chest. Yeah, remember when I said I would make more nerdy statements over the course of this video alone? I've lost count of how many that's been by now. So what's Berethor's solution to his Morgul wound? Stabbing himself. Works for Kratos, I guess. And it works for Berethor as well, freeing him from the Witch King's influence. Idril and Berethor fight off the Witch King until he finally gets sick of the battle and flies off. Berethor and Idril reunite with the rest of the party as they escape Osgiliath. But then Idril jumps the shark.
Aye! That's for me to decide.
You have given me so much, lady. Do not have the words to say what is in my heart.
Upon the other side, our fates ever shall draw apart. It is Morwen for whom you are destined.
Never mind, you were right.
So how high was that?
8 feet.
Seriously, Berethor's connection with Idril has been far more prominent than Morwen's, who's barely done anything since she found out her family died. This plot point is being shoved aside for no reason. Idril's actually going against what we saw in Moria and Rohan. Anyway, the party makes it to Minas Tirith and somehow makes it into the city during the attack itself.
12 feet.
Thank you, this interruption was very necessary.
I agree.
So we enter the biggest battle in Middle-earth history, the Battle of Minas Tirith. And there are 2 big issues undermining it. The first one being, again, it's hard to portray large epic battles in a turn-based RPG style. Second, being many times you fight the ringwraiths during this battle, and they are completely helpless before your party by this point. I swear, there are some of the easiest enemies in Minas Tirith level, something that the ringwraiths, of all enemies, should not be. Eventually you meet up with Gandalf fighting the Witch King, and unlike the fight with the Balrog, you actually get to cause some damage instead of just healing the party while Gandalf does most of the legwork. Say, wasn't Pippin with Gandalf during this scene in the movie? Whatever. So you make it to the top of the Citadel where this happens.
It is Denethor!
Really? Looks like Wormtongue's character model to me. Oh, and Gandalf is pretty casual about the Gondor steward falling to a flaming death. In fact, he spends much of his telepathic vision saying how much Denethor was a terrible leader. If someone didn't see the movie or read the book, it's fair to say they would think Gandalf did that. Geez, doesn't paint a very good picture of the White Wizard. Then the party heads into the throne room, clearing it of orcs and Easterlings of the north. After that, Rohan brings reinforcements and the battle moves to Pelennor Fields. Well, the group is at the very top of Minas Tirith. It's not like the game is just going to completely shift gears and have them fighting on Pelennor Fields.
No, you cannot just transport characters from one place to another with no physical way of them getting there!
Don't you know, Werezilla? It's magic. We don't have to explain anything. It's fucking stupid, I know.
I'm going to just assume they appatterated down there as they get lost on the big empty field. Seriously, you will get turned around and lost almost right away. How do you get lost on a big empty field? So you fight the Witch King with Eowyn, and of course, you have no impact on the actual fight, as the scene simply shows her fighting and killing the Witch King herself. This boss battle was pointless!
Okay, the whole game is pointless.
The team fights their way through Mumakil and Ringwraiths until Aragorn shows up with ghost reinforcements. You fight alongside him for a few battles until the orcs are in retreat.
We have won! They are just
Shot through the heart, and you're too late, darling. You give love a bad name.
Nope, sorry. Just doesn't have the same effect when someone's stabbed instead.
So yeah, we fight the Ringwraiths. Again. For crying out loud, they didn't stand a chance against me in the last few dozen fights, and it doesn't change here. So after a tensionless, consequence-free battle with Sauron's deadliest forces, Barethor starts to mourn Morwen's death.
A Morgul blade. I was too late.
I shall not fail.
Bull fucking shit!
Since when could Aragorn do that? Idriel can't use her magic outside of combat, nor can Hadhod or Eowyn, so where is this Deus Ex Machina coming from? Aragorn tells Barethor he plans to attack Mordor's Black Gate. So he just came to this decision before talking to the rest of the Fellowship? Or is this just more dialogue from the movie pulled out of context? The answer? Do I even need to say it?
Okay, we've reached the final battle of the game. I imagine it's going to be hordes of orcs just pouring out of the Black Gate, raining down on our heroes in their desperate last stand to buy Frodo and Sam time.
Or they will fight Sauron, the big flaming eye himself. This is embarrassing since he will never cause enough damage to be a threat. Honestly, I think the Balrog kills me more often than Sauron. Not that that matters since, once again, it's events in the main story that cause events to play out exactly the same, so it doesn't even matter what happens in this battle. Gandalf narrates over movie footage one last time, saying that while the Fellowship of the Ring's journey is over, Barethor's has just begun.
Where he will no doubt appear in another series and have no lasting impact on the overall narrative.
Okay, I will admit this game is fun to play. It's not nearly in the same league as some of its other games based on Lord of the Rings, though. The characters are pretty flat, with their history and past being told off-screen, and gameplay-wise, you really will only be playing as your initial 4 characters, since Morwen and Eowyn will never match up with the others and feel tacked on. The graphics are pretty much the same as the graphics from the Return of the King game, which I liked, so I have no real complaints about that. And the score is the same one as the movie, so again, no need to go into great detail.
However, and this is a big one, this game's story is weaker than the Ringwraiths.
Every single thing the group does is completely inconsequential, and as a result, the player doesn't feel like they accomplished anything. The point of a game's story, particularly in an RPG, is to have an impact, and in that regard, this game isn't able to do that. You know those self-insertion fanfics that authors don't want to ruin the story of, so they have their new character change precisely nothing to the plot? That's this game's story in a nutshell.
Overall, the game is at least playable, even if its story is not the greatest I've ever seen. It does ruin the Ringwraiths' reputation, but really, if one guy could beat them with a torch in the movie, then maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. Oh, shit. No, not you. Target on! Whoa! Whoa! Ah! 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 You will suffer the wrath of Sauron. Oh shit. The power of darkness will not avail you, slave of Sauron. You shall not pass! Damn ring raves. Hate these guys. Really rough week.